Holy smokers, guys, have we had another crazy month in the cybersecurity news field. Today we're going to be talking about cybersecurity in the news, May 2019. Remember back in April of 2019, I had 3 different events that I talked about. I talked about the city of Albany, New York. I talked about the Canadian Domain Registration Authority. And I talked about Jackson County, Georgia. All of those big corporations getting ransomware. And yet again, we hit another month and we have another massive ransomware case going on. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the city of Baltimore that got attacked on May 7th. In this video, I'll give an explanation of what happened in this ransomware case. And I'll be talking about the good things that Baltimore did during this ransomware case. And then I'll be talking about the bad things that they did to help contribute to this ransomware case and or make it worse. I hope all this information really helps you guys out so that you guys can prevent ransomware in your organization and help prevent it on yourself. And I hope you guys can learn from this situation and improve. All right, so I'm gonna bring up an article here from the NPR that talks about what happened to the city of Baltimore. This article is from NPR on May 21st of 2019. Anonymous hackers breached the city of Baltimore servers 2 weeks ago. Since then, those servers' digital content has been locked away, and the online aspects of the running city are at an impasse. Government emails are down, payments to the state departments can't be made online, and real estate transactions can't be processed. Hackers demanded 13 bitcoins worth about $100,000 today to relinquish their grip. Baltimore City Mayor Jack Young said the city won't pay. The FBI and Secret Service are investigating, and the city has contracted with a series of experts to help restore their service. The cyber attack is just one of more than 20 made on municipalities this year, and cybersecurity experts say that it will likely take months for the city to recover. Imagine if somebody would sneak into the government building at night, load up a bunch of boxes with all the paperwork for all the pending permits and all the pending house closings and all the pending business that the city was conducting, put it all in a truck and drive away, and then demand some money to bring it back. It's a lot easier in the cybersecurity space, in the cyberspace, without getting caught, and that's what happened here. So as you can see in this situation, the city government emails are down. Payments to the city departments aren't able to be made, so people can't pay like their real estate taxes and things like that. And real estate transactions aren't able to be processed, so people aren't able to purchase new houses. They're being held up on purchasing new houses because they can't pay the taxes on them. So what are some of the issues you guys are asking with this situation? Well, the number one issue that I find it hard to accept is from an article from NBC News that I found. They didn't learn the first time. They had a situation last year where they had a server breached for their 911 system, and it wasn't anything major. Basically, people just had to manually do their 911 calls instead of using the electronic portion of it. So it wasn't a huge thing, but they should have learned from that situation to help prevent this current situation now. So that's the number one thing that I think is a problem in this situation. And then some other issues that have occurred because of this situation. It's going to cost them about $18.2 million to recover from this situation and to help prevent this situation in the future. $4.6 million to recover is what they're projecting. $8.2 million is lost revenue right now that they're not getting from taxes and such because they can't collect them. And an additional $5.4 million is expected for further recovery and prevention. So what are some of the good things that Baltimore did in this situation? Baltimore refused to pay the ransom, which is super good. You know, I've talked about this in my ransomware video that I'll tag above up here and I'll post down in the description. In my opinion, in my personal opinion, paying the ransom does no good. You're just encouraging the criminal to continue to do it by paying the ransom. If nobody pays the ransom, then ransomware isn't useful anymore, right? And then the number 2 point on that is there's no guarantee that if you pay the ransom that you're going to get your data back, right? And those were things that the city of Baltimore mayor said, and he brought it out. I thought that was a good thing. The other thing is they must have had some backups in place because they're able to recover their files. It's just taking a super long amount of time. So the bad thing, they must have had a backup system in place, but it wasn't a very good one because it's taking them forever to recover their files. On the date that I've recorded this video, from other articles I've read, they still haven't recovered all of their stuff yet, and it's been nearly 2 weeks later since this article that I read you was written. So obviously they didn't have good backups in place, which the number one rule for assisting with ransomware is to have good backups. If you don't have good backups, then if you get hit with ransomware, you could lose all of your data, right? And then the other point is you want to have backups so that you can recover fast enough and not affect the business for a long period of time. The other bad thing, the number 2 bad thing, and this one's really bad too, there's conflicting opinion on how the servers got compromised that ended up leading ransomware to a bunch of areas in their network. The New York Times reported that Eternal Blue was used to compromise that server. So we talked about this before. Eternal Blue was how WannaCry and NotPetya were used to cause tons of problems back in 2017 on servers all over the world and cost billions of dollars to repair. And the thing with those two types of ransomware is Microsoft released a patch several weeks before that would have prevented that ransomware, but people didn't patch up to prevent that ransomware, and then they got drilled by it because it was a type of ransomware that spread super easily. It was wormable. So there's an article out there by the Baltimore Sun that is saying that the NSA has confirmed that the New York Times is wrong, that it wasn't this ransomware was not caused by the Eternal Blue exploit. But even if that is true, it's hard to say if the New York Times is true or if the NSA is true. The NSA supposedly helped create this Eternal Blue exploit and didn't share it. Some groups shared it out, and then people were able to exploit. Bad people were able to exploit at that point. Supposedly the NSA had created this and not told people about this situation. So obviously the NSA might be trying to hide the fact that this was caused by that because it makes them look bad. If Eternal Blue was the cause of this ransomware, a patch has been out since 2017. Baltimore should have had those patches put on all their systems. And I found an article by the Baltimore Sun, one of the representatives for the state of Maryland and the district that Baltimore is in. He's pushing for federal help on this situation because he thinks it's the federal government's fault and they should be more involved in city situations with ransomware. And he quote unquote says, "It's easy to suggest that leaked cyber tools are worthless with proper patches and good cyber hygiene, but the reality is that patching can be hard and requires resources that many municipalities do not have." I personally, as a cybersecurity expert, take offense to that statement. It is 2019. It's total bullshit that people aren't patching their systems. If you don't have the resources to do it, then get the resources, raise the tax money, and pay that. When you're going to pay $18.2 million to recover from a ransomware incident, you can't tell me that you can't figure out a way to help prevent these incidents. And one of the simplest ways to prevent these is to patch all of your systems. It's 2019. Find the fucking resources. It just pisses me off this day and age. Like, there's so many ransomware events going on. You see cities getting attacked. There's been, 20 county, city governments that have been attacked, and you can't find the resources. Find the fucking resources. It's 2019. You need to get in the cybersecurity game. You need to get with the time. So that's my personal opinion on that guy's comment stating about how they don't have the resources to patch. They need to find them. Everybody needs to find them across the country. It's no longer we can just sit there and wait for stuff to come. People got to be proactive on things. All right, so then the third thing that was really bad in this situation, in my opinion, it does not appear that the city of Baltimore had a disaster recovery plan or a very good disaster recovery plan for ransomware situations. And going back to the first point, they had already had a situation where they were compromised last year. So they had a whole year to plan out what are they going to do in a situation like this and get their infrastructure set up so that they can recover fast from a situation like this, and that they have they have everything that they need backed up, so there's limited downtime. But apparently they didn't take last year's situation serious enough. They didn't have a very good plan, and now they're getting bit really hard. To me, it's their own fault. They didn't patch, they didn't have a good disaster recovery solution, and then situations like this happen. And the one thing that I want you guys to take away from this is you have to have backups. You know, I've been preaching on previous videos, backups, backups, backups. You have to have backups, and you have to be saving them in a timely manner, and you have to be able to recover that data in a timely manner too. For most organizations, if you can't recover the data within a couple of days, it's too long, especially for a city. When it's taking a month to recover the data, that is not a good disaster recovery plan. That's not a good data backup strategy. You need to have that down. And then number two is patch, patch, patch. Patch all of your servers. Find the resources to patch your servers. There's no excuse in 2019. The cost for not patching a server is going to be much higher if you get hit by ransomware, if you get hit by an attack, than to pay for support to get the servers upgraded. So yeah, I hope you guys really learned a lot from this video. I'm really passionate about this topic because a lot of these ransomware incidents that are happening on cities could have been prevented by just doing basic patching. And to me, in 2019, we should not be having these problems. The only type of ransomware that cities and places should be getting is ransomware that was due to vulnerabilities that were not disclosed to the public, and there was no way that they could prevent them. But when you have patches out there that can prevent the ransomware, and those patches have been out there for a couple of years and you still don't have them on your system, there's no excuse. You're just asking for it. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Thank you for watching, guys, and have a great day.